Okay, class, let's take a look here at diction. Diction refers to word choice. So on the exam, they may try to trick you by putting in one of these in an incorrect place. Here's a list of a couple of them. We've got affect and affect, farther, further, then, who, that, which, who, and whom. On the next page here, we've got some more. There, lie and lay, accept, capital, principle, stationary. So, taking a look at a couple of them, you should try to remember these. There are other ones also, and using some of the references we have, you can look those up. But I consider these some of the main ones that are misused. Now, let's take, for example, affect and effect. Now, affect could be a noun, that has the effect that I wanted. Or affect could also be used as a verb that may affect a change, as in create or make a change. But then we have the word affect with an A here, because that would be to influence. That will affect how you feel in the future. So be careful with affect and affect. Now, farther and further seem similar, but farther has to do with space, and further's more abstract. So, for example, that's farther down the road. Further into the future, I want to start thinking about going to college. Than and then. Than is used for comparisons. She is taller than her sister. Then is used for time, Back then, when I was young, I didn't understand how to break dance. Who, that, which. Now in this case, we're using who for people, that for things in general, and which for things also. We're going to get to this more in a future module, but she is the person who helped me in the car. That is something that I told you about yesterday. Now, which here is going to be also used, but that's going to be used in a non-restrictive clause. I'll go over this more in the future, but just to quickly go through it now. If I say, that is the man that came to my house, the restrictive clause restricts it to that man. He is the man that came to my house. Which man? The one that came to the house. All one sentence. No commas. If I have which, if I say, for example, these baskets of fruit, comma, which were left on my front porch, comma, are from my neighbor. Now in that case, I'm separating the clause of which with commas, and that's considered a non-restrictive clause because it's really not important to the main clause, it just adds to it. Now let's take a look at who and whom. Who is a subject, whom is object. So who would say, who is that? I don't know who you're talking about. Whom would be object, like for example, object of a preposition. For whom, to whom, with whom, etc. So whom is going to be used as a object and who as the subject. Here are some more. There is the person that I met last week. So there we got a reference. This is their book. That's a subject pronoun. And there is obviously a subject and a verb and a contraction, They're interesting ideas, but I need to stick with my own principles. Lie and lay. I lie down, but I lay something down. Accept, capital, principle. These are some other examples, I think the hardest one is probably capital and capital. The capital of Connecticut is Hartford. That's the Capitol building, OL. So OL would be the building, because that refers to a municipal office. Stationary, that's another tricky one. Stationary, ERY is referred to stuff you write with. Stationary means not moving with an ARY. So these are some examples of diction that you should review, and also take a look at some of the other ones, because there's other ones that are listed also, and some of the supplemental reading material that we gave you.